Hi everybody and welcome back. Alright, in this video we're going to just finish off the placement of our elevators. We're getting close to having our game nearly ready to test and play with a few extra things to add. So come into Explorer and select our lift model, and we will click on the move tool, and we're going to move it over so that it is in the middle of one of the sides. It doesn't matter which one it is, and we'll just zoom in a bit closer and just place the shaft part sort of in the middle, and so that it's on the edge. So we'll just move that back a little bit just so it's close to the edge like such. Alright, now we're just using the shaft part. It'll stay in the game, but we're going to turn off can collide, and so you can't see it, so then the player can enter the lift from any direction. But while we're just placing things, we'll just leave it where it is. Alright, now all the hard work that we put in there to make this a generic lift model, meaning that they are all the same except for the scripts that are inside. And for that reason, we are once again going to take the slide script that is inside of our slide part, and I want you to click on that and cut it, and then we will paste it into our server script service, where we will once again turn it into a tagged script. So now we have our bunch of parts and constraints and things here. We can place another 3 to represent the other colors in the game. So click on the lift model, and then we will right click on it and duplicate it, and then hit Control or Command R to a couple of times to spin it around so that it is the opposite direction. And then we're going to drag this over to the other side of our play area and position it down here. Alright, so we'll just zoom in there so we can position it just on the edge. Right, now actually before we go any further, we don't want the lift to come right up on the edge of the tile. We want to set it back a little bit to make it challenging. So we'll select our move tool and we'll move it back 5 studs. So move it back a further 5 studs, and we'll go back to the other lift as well, and we'll move it back a further 5 studs. Alright, so you should have 2 lifts sitting like that. Alright, now what we'll do is select one of the models and then hold down Command or Control and select the other one, and right click and duplicate. And while they're still selected, hold down Command or Control and press R, and we should have 2 more that are positioned correctly on the other tiles. Alright, so if everything was pretty straight, it looks pretty good to me. Okay, so once you've got your lifts positioned around the 4 sides, we'll come into each of the models and on the shaft parts. Alright, and you can highlight all of these to do it all at once if you like. So hold down Shift or Command and left click on each of the shaft parts, or you can do them individually. So I'll just do them all at once. Alright, so Shift or Command and shaft. So we've got the 4 shaft parts, and then down in the properties we're going to turn their transparency up to 1, and then we'll come down further and we just want to turn off can collide so players don't run into invisible things. And now we have our lifts that will still work and run up and down. And now if you see these lines from the constraints, you can come up to the constraints up here and turn off constraint details and turn off draw on top, and all of that should disappear. Alright, so we're nearly ready to test. We've got all of our models and everything in here. However, we do need to, and leave these expanded just for the moment, because remember we have our tag script for to move. So we need to add parts to our tagged parts up here for our shaft. So come up to plugins and click on the tag window, and you'll see we've got all shafts up here. So let's click on that and it'll bring up all of these details. Now if you click on tagged instances, alright, you'll see if it's got 4 in here like this, then it's automatically found all of those parts for us, which is pretty cool. Alright, but we'll run it and we'll see sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and if it doesn't then we'll fix that up by recreating the tags. But for now, let's just shrink this up and we will come down and have a look at our slide script. Alright, so open up your slide script, and we're going to need to turn this into a tag script. Okay, so up the top of our slide script, underneath our fun mod, we'll create a variable for the collection service, which will be game get service and collection service. And now we'll need to create a tag because we haven't done that yet for our slides. So just open up all of your, shut the shaft one there, and we can close that as well. And we'll just close that. Okay, so we can see all of our slide parts. Then in our workspace view, we'll come up to plugins and the tags, and we're in the wrong window here, so we'll just go back to here. We'll add a new tag down the bottom here, and we'll say all slides, and then left click on the first one and then shift or command and select the other slide parts, and then come over and check the box. So if it's checked, simply close the window and we can create our variable in our script. So local tagged parts will equal collection service get tagged, and we'll say all slides. And just below this we'll create our for loop, so for underscore comma TP in pairs tagged parts do. Right, now as I said earlier, we don't need this single variable in here anymore, so we'll delete that one out, and we need to then move this end, so cut that and come right down the end of the script and paste it in there. And we'll just click on format document, and now we want to change our slide. So the shortcut way is to double click it, command or control F, and in the replace box we'll put TP and then click on replace all. Now you remember me saying earlier about the fact that when you use the command F and you go to change things, that sometimes things change that you don't want to change. For example, our tag up here. Alright, now I asked it to, if I undo this, I can't undo it now, but remember this said all slides. Alright, and down the bottom here, well, it's changed the words up here, so I need to put this back in, and this is why you should be careful when you use that changing everything in a script. So just let that be a warning. All right, let's click on File and Save, and we'll play. All right, and you'll see that we successfully now have all of our grey elevators have changed to the proper colours that they should be after all our hard work. And we'll see if we can change to yellow. And there we go, we have changed to yellow. Now if I try to jump on a tile up here, actually nothing is happening. So let's have a look at why our tile script is not picking that up. And you'll see when I open my tile script up here that it did the same thing up the top here. It changed my tag, which was unwanted. All right, so once again, be very careful using changing things in scripts. Usually manually is the best way to go. So we'll put this back in, all tiles. Okay, and click on File and Save, and I'm leaving this in the video because I did it, and if you did it, that's quite difficult error to find unless you thought to check back up here. So let's play again. Right, and we can run on, and I got on to yellow. Alright, so it did actually change me to yellow, and now if I jump onto a blue one, you'll see I lost my colour, and I went back to being my natural colour, and green is working. Alright, and if I jump on there, so everything seems to be working. Let's try to jump on one that is ours, and we got points, and I missed that one. So let's try red just to make sure that it works. Right, I've jumped onto red, and there we go. And now I just want to show you a problem. Alright, see how they're all translucent, the lifts, and I can still get the colours, but we really don't want that to be happening. Ideally what we want to have is to have one player allocated to each colour, and they keep that colour until they lose it. And if there are others available, then they're able to get those colours and reset these back to the way they were. And we will work on that in the next couple of videos. But for now, if you've got all of these working where you can grab your colour and the tiles appear to be working, then we are good to go. So we'll stop our game there, and we'll increase our version, go up to 12. Alright, and we're good to move on, so I will see you in the next lesson.